Mr. Brandon Jessup is the man behind Michigan Ford, so we're going to bring him up, tell us a little more about.
Yeah!
Forward.
Come on out! Hey!
Thank you, sir.
Alright. So, welcome to the show.
Oh man, it's good to be here. Good news, good banter, good everything, good Detroit. You know, trying to be positive out here.
Yes.
Y'all got the best DJs.
Oh! You know?
That's how we rock.
So you're bringing good news to us today.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about what you have going on.
Well, you know, as Jay said a little bit earlier, I'm Brandon Jessup, CEO and Chairman of Michigan Ford. Yeah. We are Detroit's only public policy think tank, pretty much for our whole city. What we do is we write, we advocate, and we also educate on laws that better affect our communities all across the state. So all urban communities, Flint, Detroit, Grand Rapids, all across the state, we got the whole thing.
Spearheading for the youth in politics. I think that's very, very important.
Stop asking, just go do it. And that's kind of like our whole piece with Michigan Ford is the fact that the legislation that we want to see get passed in the state of Michigan, why don't we write it? You know, you never think that young people they would lead a ballot initiative for the 2012 ballot, but right here we are. We're counting over 200,000 petition signatures from voters all across the state. So when I say, like, when I do my map thing, I'm talking Traverse City and all that up here, I'm serious, you know. We actually got a bus of Traverse City's volunteers that's coming down to Detroit to help us count verifications, do data entry, all kinds of cool stuff like that. So the spirit, a lot of people around the state really want to see Detroit get up, and they don't want to see Detroit get taken down anymore. And you see the spirit through our efforts to repeal that odious law that we got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the state realizes, you know, all over the state how important Detroit is. You know, how important it is to include them in the conversations.
In another area like Detroit, you know, people have to, you know, you start dealing with issue of voter turnout and apathy. And, well, what's the real on that?
You know what, like, honestly, Detroit could do a whole lot better. Okay, like, Detroit as a whole has 3 times more voters than any other city in the state.
Wow.
3 times more. So that includes Grand Rapids. We talk about Grand Rapids and all this stuff. Grand Rapids still only has 180,000 voters. Detroit has 583,000 registered voters.
Wow.
So when they say that we really need Detroit to turn out in elections, like, we really sway the balance of things. And, you know, no better example of how the apples of Detroit hurts us so much is from the last election. You know, you got all these crazy laws and very draconian. I just want to call them draconian. I don't want to be too negative on a good show. You know what I'm saying? But like laws that you know, end cash assistance for needy families and things like that. You know, they're doing these things because they have a bad stigma about Detroit. So when they see young folks like us come up talking about, well, let's take a whole new different spin on taxes. Why make a $1.9 billion tax cut when we can actually create another $2.1 billion if we did it? You know, so it's now at the time, and it really, we just got to wake up and realize that sitting on the bench and sitting on the sideline is enough of that right now in Detroit. We can't sit around and wait for somebody else to do it. We got to do it because the city, I mean, it can't drive itself.
I mean, but if you could look into the camera and talk to the young man or the young woman who didn't vote or doesn't, you know, maybe they can to register, but they don't know what to do, they don't know what would you just straight up and tell them? What would that message be?
My first thing would be is to ask, don't be afraid to ask what you don't know.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask what you don't know. So
clap.
We learn to kind of, like, you know, to beat up on people for their ignorance. And I mean, it's not my fault I may be ignorant of the situation. You know, that's when you take it to opportunity to educate, and that's what it is. So, you know, if you don't know, go to your clerk's office. You don't know you registered to vote, go to your clerk and ask her or him. If you don't know what this law is about, hey, look it up on the internet. We can Facebook for 30 hours, we can tweet all day long. Tweet, you know, to your state senator about this law that's being passed. All these representatives have Twitter accounts, and I talk to them all day long. I don't like talking to them. They shouldn't talk to me. They should talk to everybody else, the people in their district sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, just get involved, get engaged. It's no time to sit around and be fearful.
Right. Yeah. I love that message. What you thinking, Jay? I mean, yes, he liked it.
But you know, like working with folks like you guys, especially like working with Jay, because Jay, we over the summer we did a few town halls on with the White House and
I saw
people engaged around those things to get young high school students just engaged talk about education. And when you hear young people talk about education, like we should make every teacher, every administrator, every person that's over 45 that hasn't been back to school in like 10 years, they can sit down and talk to these kids about education.
Is there anything else that you feel is important or worth mentioning about, upcoming things that you have to keep on the radar?
Oh yeah, Michigan Forward, we're coming up with our Urban Economic Forum this year. It's our second annual. If anybody's familiar with the World Economic Forum, where they bring about these big, the big huge problems of the world. Well, we're gonna talk about Michigan and the big huge problems of Michigan, how we can solve them through economics, instead of, just the social striking we normally used to. So this year, later this month, we'll be doing a forum on stabilizing Detroit. We'll talk about renovating our lighting system. We all know the lights throughout half of the city have been out way too long. So we got a whole plan I've been writing and researching about. We'll be unveiling that at our 2011 UEF. We'll also be talking about light rail, of course, clearly. We'll be talking about transit across the state and education reform. We'll be talking about making Head Start mandatory and paying for a Head Start for every young person in the state of Michigan.
Wow.
And also, we're going to start looking at reforming some of these meat requirements. It's kind of backwards to test a child in 3rd grade when you only been teaching them for like maybe the last 18 months. So we want to go back and look at the meat standards and really make assessment something that works for students.